Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon is an American basic cable and satellite television network that is partly owned by the MTV Networks Kids and Family Group, a unit of the Viacom Media Networks division of Viacom. As of August 2013, Nickelodeon Nick at Night is available to approximately 98,799,000 pay television households, 86.51% of households with television, in the United States.
Programming.
Nickelodeon's schedule currently consists largely of original series aimed at preteens and young teenagers, including animated series.
Nicktoons.
Nicktoons is Nickelodeon's branding for their original animated television series, a brand that has seldom been used by Nickelodeon itself since the launch of the Nicktoons digital cable and satellite channel in 2002.
Movies.
Nickelodeon does not air movies on a regular basis. However, it does produce its own original made-for-cable television movies, which usually premiere in weekend evening time slots.
Programming blocks. Current.
Nick at Night. Nick at Night, stylized as Nick at Night, is Nickelodeon's nighttime programming service, which debuted on July 1, 1985, and broadcasts Sunday through Wednesdays from 8 p.m. 7 a.m., Thursdays and Fridays from 9 p.m. 7 a.m. and Saturdays and holidays from 10 p.m. 7 a.m. Eastern Time PT. Nick, the smart place to play. Nickelodeon currently programs shows targeted at preschool-age children on Monday through Fridays from 8:30 a.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Time PT, 7:00-10 a.m. during the summer months, other designated school break periods and on major holidays. Gotta See Saturdays. Gotta See Saturdays is a morning animation and even live-action block airing on Saturdays from 9 a.m. 1:30 p.m. and 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time PT.
Former.
Nick Jr. Nick Jr. was a programming block on the Nickelodeon television channel, seen on Nickelodeon weekday mornings. It was aimed at kids ages 2 to 7 years. On September 28, 2009, Nick Jr. was launched as a full channel, being moved out of Nickelodeon. It is owned by MTV Networks, a division of Viacom International. TNIC. TNIC was a teen-oriented television programming block that aired on Nickelodeon. The block launched on March 6, 2001 and lasted until February 2, 2009. TNIC aired on Sunday nights from 6:00-9 p.m. Eastern Time PT. Nick in the Afternoon. Nick in the Afternoon was a programming block on Nickelodeon that aired from 1995 to 1998 on weekday afternoons during the summer, hosted by Stick Stickley, a Mr. Bill-like popsicle stick puppeteered by Rick Lyon and voiced by New Yorker Paul Christie, who would later voice Nick Jr. mascot, Moose A. Moose until 2012. You Pick Live. You Pick Live is a program that aired on Nickelodeon from October 14, 2002 to May 27, 2005 on weekday afternoons from Nickelodeon headquarters in New York City's Times Square. Starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, SNIC, short for Saturday Night Nickelodeon, is a 2-hour programming block on the American cable television network Nickelodeon, geared toward older, tween to teen, audiences, that ran from August 15, 1992 until August 28, 2004. Nick Studio 10. Nick Studio 10 is a late afternoon programming block that debuted on February 18, 2013, airing weekdays from 4:00-6 p.m. Eastern Time PT.
Seasonal programming blocks and events.
Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. The Kids' Choice Awards are a 90-minute-long annual event held on the last Saturday night in March, formerly the first Saturday in April until 2008, that is broadcast live on the network, though broadcast on a 3-hour delay on the channel's Pacific Time Zone feed and the Eastern and Central Time Zone version of Nick2 that simulcasts the Pacific Time Zone feed for digital cable subscribers. Worldwide Day of Play. The Worldwide Day of Play is an annual event held on a Saturday afternoon in late September that launched on October 2, 2004, to mark the conclusion of the Let's Just Play campaign that launched the same year, both of which are designed to influence kids to exercise and participate in outdoor activities. During the event, schools and educational organizations are also encouraged to host local events to promote activity among children.
Related networks and services. Nick at Night.
Nick at Night, stylized as Nick at Night, is Nickelodeon's nighttime programming service, which debuted on July 1, 1985, and broadcasts Sunday through Wednesdays from 8 p.m. 7 a.m., Thursdays and Fridays from 9 p.m. 7 a.m. and Saturdays from 10 p.m. 7 a.m. Eastern Time PT.
Current sister channels. Nicktoons.
This channel debuted on May 1, 2002, and was known as Nicktoons TV from its launch until May 2003 and as Nicktoons Network from 2005 until September 2009.
Nick Jr.
Originally launching on February 2, 1999, and based on the former Noggin, which starting in 2002, shared channel space with the teen-oriented The N, now T-Nick, and operating as a separate channel from Nick Jr. since December 31, 2007, the network was rebranded Nick Jr. on September 28, 2009.
T-Nick.
This television channel in the United States is aimed at teenagers and young adults. The channel is named after the former T-Nick weekend evening program block on Nickelodeon, that ran from July 2000 to February 2009.
TV Land.
A cable channel that was based on the Nick at Night block, and is usually carried on the basic tiers of cable and satellite providers. TV Land debuted on April 29, 1996, and originally aired classic television programming from the early 1950s to the 1970s.
Former sister channels. Nickelodeon Games and Sports for Kids.
Nickelodeon Games and Sports for Kids, commonly referred to in on-air usage as Nickelodeon GAS or Nick GAS, was an American digital cable and satellite television channel that was launched on March 1, 1999, as part of MTV Network's suite of digital cable channels. Nick GAS was essentially a children's version of, and Viacom's answer to, the game show network, now branded as GSN, which had launched in December 1994. The channel ceased operations on December 31, 2007, on digital cable providers, with an automated loop remaining on Dish Network due to unknown factors until April 23, 2009.
Other services.
Nick HD. Nick HD is the on-air name for the network's 1080i high-definition channel, which is carried by most of the major American cable providers on a simulcast schedule that broadcasts programs based on an Eastern Central and a Pacific Mountain schedule. It launched in 2003. Nick 2. Nick 2 is the on-air name for a feed provided by Nickelodeon to digital cable providers that features either the Pacific Mountain or Eastern Central feed of the channel. Nick On Demand. Nick On Demand is a free video-on-demand service available on most cable and satellite providers, carrying Nickelodeon's live-action, animated, and preschool programming.
Media. Nick.com.
Nick.com is Nickelodeon's main online portal. The website launched in October 1995. It provides content, as well as video clips and full streaming episodes from Nickelodeon's series. Initially the website was accessible only through America Online, but was later available to all Internet service providers.
Nickelodeon Movies.
Nickelodeon Movies is the channel's motion picture production arm founded in 1995. Its films are released by Nickelodeon's sister company Paramount Pictures.
Nickelodeon Magazine.
Nickelodeon Magazine was a magazine launched by Nickelodeon in 1993, following a short-lived effort from 1990. It contained informative non-fiction pieces, humor, interviews, pranks, recipes, such as green slime cake, and a comic book section in the center featuring original comics by leading underground cartoonists as well as strips about popular Nicktoons. The magazine ceased publication in December 2009.
Nick Radio.
Nick Radio is a radio network that was created by Nickelodeon, via parent company Viacom, through a partnership with Clear Channel Communications and was launched on September 30, 2013. From 1 p.m. 7 p.m., Mo Bounce hosts, while from 7 p.m. 1 a.m. Our Maxwell hosts.
Mobile apps.
Nickelodeon released a free mobile app in February 2013.
Experiences. Nickelodeon Universe.
Nickelodeon Universe at the Mall of America is the largest indoor theme park in America. On August 18, 2009, Nickelodeon and Southern Star Amusement announced that a second Nickelodeon Universe would be located in New Orleans, Louisiana and have a tentative opening date by the end of 2010. However, these plans eventually fell through.
Nickelodeon Animation Studio.
Nickelodeon Animation Studio, formerly Games Animation, is the home of Nicktoons located in Burbank, California. It houses production of many current Nicktoons.
Nickelodeon on Sunset.
Nickelodeon on Sunset, located in Hollywood, California, that serves the primary studio facility for Nickelodeon's series. The studio, formerly known as the Earl Carroll Theater and designated by the U.S. National Registry for Historic Places as a historical landmark.
Hotel brands.
Nickelodeon's Suites Resort is a Nickelodeon-themed hotel in Orlando, Florida, located near Universal Studios Resort and 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, from Walt Disney World Resort. The property includes 1, 2, and 3-bedroom Nick-themed kids' suites and various forms of Nick-themed entertainment. Nickelodeon's Suites Resort also contains a Nick at Night suite for adults. Nickelodeon Resorts by Marriott was a proposed hotel chain similar to the above family suites, featuring a 110,000 square foot, 10,000 m2, water park area and 650 hotel rooms. Announced in 2007, the first location was to open in San Diego in 2010 but was cancelled in 2009. Plans for the remaining 19 hotels originally slated to open remain unclear.
Cruises.
Nickelodeon at Sea is a series of Nickelodeon-themed cruise packages in partnership with Norwegian Cruise Line. These cruises feature special amenities and entertainment themed to various Nickelodeon properties. Norwegian Cruise Line will also be hosting some Nickelodeon cruises on the Norwegian Jewel and Norwegian Epic. The event is known as Nickelodeon at Sea.
Theme park areas.
Almost all theme park areas themed to Nickelodeon are now closed. Nickelodeon Universe was also an area inside of Paramount's Kings Island featuring Nickelodeon-themed rides and attractions. The area was one of the largest areas in the park, and has been voted Best Kids Area by Amusement Today magazine from 2001 to the area's closure in 2009. In March 2008, another version of Nickelodeon Universe opened at Mall of America with many characters including SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer. Nickland is an area inside of Movie Park Germany featuring Nickelodeon-themed rides, including a SpongeBob SquarePants-themed Splash Battle ride, and a Jimmy Neutron-themed roller coaster. This area is currently being expanded to fill space formerly occupied with rides based on Warner Brothers characters. Nickelodeon Studios was an attraction at Universal Orlando Resort that opened on June 7, 1990, and housed production for many Nickelodeon programs. It closed on April 30, 2005, after Nickelodeon's facilities were moved to New York City and Burbank, California. Nick Studios was replaced by the Blue Man Group Sharp Aqua's Theater. Another Nickelodeon-themed attraction at the Orlando Park, Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast, opened in 2003 but was closed in 2011 to make way for the new Universal Studios ride, Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem based on the 2010 movie by Illumination Entertainment. In 2012, a store based on SpongeBob SquarePants opened in Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone, replacing Universal's cartoon store. Nickelodeon Central was an area inside of California's Great America, Carowinds, King's Dominion, Canada's Wonderland, and Dream World that featured shows, attractions, and themes featuring the Nickelodeon characters. The only remaining Nickelodeon Central is in Dream World, located in Australia. Nickelodeon Blast Zone was an area in Universal Studios Hollywood that featured attractions centered around Nickelodeon characters and themes. The 4 attractions that were present in the area were Nickelodeon Splash, a water park-style area, the Wild Thornberrys Adventure Temple, a jungle-themed foam ball play area, and Nick Jr. Backyard, a medium-sized toddler playground. This area closed in winter 2007 and has been rethemed to Curious George. Another attraction, Rugrats Magic Adventure, was present at the opening of the area in 2001, but closed in 2002 to make way for Shrek 4D. Nickelodeon Splat City was an area inside California's Great America, 1995 to 2002, Kings Island, 1995 to 2000, and Kings Dominion, 1995 to 1999, that featured attraction involving getting messy or wet. The Slime Refinery theme was carried out in the attractions such as the Green Slime Zone Refinery, the Crystal Slime Mining Maze, and the Green Slime Transfer Truck. All of these areas were later transformed into either Nickelodeon Central or Nickelodeon Universe. Nickelodeon Land opened on May 4, 2011, in Blackpool Pleasure Beach, featuring several rides including SpongeBob SquarePants, Avatar, The Last Airbender, Dora the Explorer and The Fairly Odd Parents.
International.
In 1995, Nickelodeon only had international channels in the United Kingdom, Australia and Germany in addition to the flagship American channel, but had created blocks or put their shows on other blocks in 70 countries. Since the mid-1990s and early 2000s, Nickelodeon as a brand has expanded into include language or culture-specific Nickelodeon channels for various other territories in different parts of the world including Europe, the Middle East, Russia, Asia, and recently Canada, and has licensed some of its cartoons and other content, in English and local languages, to TV and cable stations such as KIKA and Super RTL in Germany, RTE2, English-speaking, and TG4, Irish-speaking, in Ireland, YTV, in English, and VRAC TV, in French, in Canada, Canal J in France, Alpha Kids in Greece and CNBC in Turkey.